Hi, I'm Caine Moss, and I'm a partner at Goodwin Procter, and I'm one of the folks that leads the West Coast technology companies practice. I'm an emerging companies lawyer. That's kind of how I think about myself. I also represent companies in mergers and acquisitions. As companies grow and become more mature, we sell them. We also, for my more mature companies, buy companies, so buy-side and sell-side M&A, and public offering work. I also represent venture capitalists, so we do a lot of venture deals representing the venture capitalists that make the investments into the companies. So I work on both sides. I could be involved in a venture deal, and if I'm representing the company, there's a unique set of issues that might be very different than if I'm representing the venture firm. And how those meet out and what we push on depends on whether we're representing companies that are receiving the funding or the venture firms that are putting the money in. The good thing about being on both sides, for example, in a venture deal, is that we end up knowing the market cold. So understanding what the issues are from the venture capitalist perspective gives us unique insight when we're representing companies. And it works both ways. A lot of times VCs want to know, what the market is, and if I've represented, 15 companies in venture deals in the last 3 months, I have a unique perspective to give to them in that regard. We get a lot of great companies and a lot of entrepreneurs that have been in this game for a number of years. So a lot of those guys have great networks already. If you don't have a great network, the key is to get out there, right? So if you're in a particular space, let's say you have a social media app or something, know the other CEOs that are building social media apps in and around the stage of development that your company is. Look at their websites to figure out who the VCs are that have funded companies that are in and around your space or that you might be competitive with or quasi-competitive with. Understand who those sources of capital are, who's making investments in the space, and get to know those investors. Now, getting to know those investors is not always the easiest thing to do. VCs, particularly in this market, are as busy as they've ever been. And so getting to know those guys requires a fair amount of finesse and know-how. And that really means getting warm intros. Finding the people who know those guys really well that and having them make warm intros. You can beat the bushes for months and not get an intro to the types of folks that you need to get in touch with if it's not the right person making those intros. So being smart about how you get into those relationships, I think, is key. And that's one of the things that I think we can provide as well at Goodwin Procter is access to the right sources of capital. I mean, there's a lot of law firms and a lot of folks who advertise that, we can get you involved in, the venture community, et cetera. But, knowing which firms are making the investments in your space at the right time and which partners within those firms are active, having that really detailed information around the sources of capital is something that we can bring to bear as advisors. I've been an emerging growth or tech lawyer for 18 years, and I think that what I still, I've done all the deals and represented companies at various different stages. What I think I'm the most excited about is, meeting new entrepreneurs and learning about great new businesses. The talent level here in the Silicon Valley is unsurpassed. I mean, there's just amazing people that are super passionate about what they're doing. And every time you meet someone like that, it's energizing. You want to help those people. You want to give them the knowledge and help them navigate the valley, and the ecosystem. To the extent that you can do that, that's exciting to me.